Sarah Payne was murdered by a convicted paedophile 8 years ago at the age of 8. Campaigners have been calling for more public information on sex offenders. Now, a pilot scheme means that parents in some areas can find out whether anybody who's got direct access to their children is a convicted paedophile.
Yes, and if it works, if the government thinks it's successful, it'll be rolled out throughout England and Wales. Could the scheme, though, drive offenders underground? That's the main concern of Barnardo's. And the criminologist Mark Williams-Thomas, he was involved in the Sarah Payne investigation and now works in child protection, so has looked at this a lot and can tell us what he thinks. Hello to you, Mark.
Good morning.
Thanks very much for coming in. Is it a good idea? Effectively, just for people who don't know, it means that parents can ring up and say, I've got somebody working with me and with my child. Are they on the sexual registers list?
I think there's some serious problems with it, and to break those down, first of all, to provide public with information about a sex offender living in their community could be really dangerous, because after all, what you're going to give them public is, whilst you might say to them, well, you're not allowed to tell anyone else, we know that very few people can keep a secret, so they're going to pass information on to other people that know, and before you know it, single piece of information about one known paedophile living in the community is broadcast and everybody knows about it.
Although I spoke to the government minister a little earlier on this programme, and he said possibly action could be taken if it's found that somebody has given away that information, if they've been given it and then they tell other people.
Yeah, I think action can be taken, but after all, are they going to start prosecuting people who generally are telling other people because they feel that other people need to know, so that person doesn't go there? So there are some real issues about this.
Essential issues: who are we going to protect? Are we going to protect the child and parents, or are we going to protect the convicted paedophile who doesn't necessarily need to apply to work with children anyway?
No, absolutely. The protection of children is vital and it's paramount. But the way we do that, there are already systems in place. There is a multi-agency public protection. There is a public protection from the police who already can notify individuals if there are people living in a community who present a risk. What's happening here is that they're abdicating the responsibility and giving it to the public to make a decision. That's easy if someone's got a clear conviction, but they're also giving them information about people who have got a suspicion fallen on them, there's an allegation made against them. So rather than that being risk assessed for the individual who, as far as the authorities to make that decision, they're giving it to the public. And the other risk, of course, is if you do a check on someone and it comes back that they're not convicted, doesn't mean they're safe. 31,000 sex offenders registered. There's in excess of 250,000 sex offenders living in the UK, and that's because they've not been convicted.
So your main concern seems to be vigilantism or possible vigilantism. What about the suggestion from Barnardo's that, as happened in the States, what happens is a lot of people effectively take themselves off the sexual offenders register because they're not contacting police and probation authorities to tell them what they are and what they're doing?
That's another fear. 97% of people who should be on the sex offenders register comply. So that's 31,000. 97% of them comply. If we start making it publicly available that everybody knows where sex offenders are, they will stop complying with the sex offenders register. They will fail to notify police where they are, driving them underground, making them more likely to re-offend. We know that sex offenders will re-offend when they don't have a consistency within their life.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much.